Thank you very much. My name is Fabio Friscia. I work for UNICEF. I'm based in New York in the HQ office. And this has been a very, very exciting opportunity to be in such a conference surrounded by youth organization, surrounded by an infinite amount of scouts. I never thought there were so many scouts. So I will talk about UNICEF and Scouts. I think that our two organizations have tremendous complementarities and that we should be able to change the world if we use them in a clever way. And I will start with a little quiz. If I tell you 100 million, does this number sound like something familiar to you? A young million young people. Does this something which is in any scout document? Yes, yes. So this is part of your vision. So in 2014, the scouts say they want to engage 100 million young people. 3 years after, UNICEF also had to write its strategic plan, and believe it or not, it came out with the same number. So UNICEF wants to engage 100 young people for civic engagement. And I promise that we didn't copy this number from the Scout. It was totally parallel thinking. So what are the assets that we have to make this happen? The Scouts, you know it very well. You have a network of 54, 57 million people. I heard different numbers, but basically the same amount of people of an average country. Italy is 58, so the entire country. To give you an idea, UNICEF has been mobilizing last year 6 million young people. So this is like dwarf as compared to the Scouts. UNICEF has other different assets. So UNICEF in every country has a very strong capacity to open doors in all levels of the local administration. UNICEF has a mandate on a bigger set of topics than any other agency. Health, HIV/AIDS, nutrition, education, protection, water and sanitation. UNICEF is lead in all these different domains, or in big part of subdomains of these main topics. UNICEF has a capacity to play a convening role, which means that very often in different countries, it is UNICEF that calls upon the Ministry of Education, for instance, and Minister of Health, and sit them together with other partners to plan solutions for children and young people. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of things that become possible when we put our assets on the table and use them strategically. The first one is from Niger. Niger is one of the most poor countries, ranking very low on the Human Development Index, with some serious problem of community and inter-community violence, especially in the east part of the country. So UNICEF called upon the Scouts to help on addressing this problem. The Scouts have been mobilizing its team, and they have trained young people in the different communities. They've been coaching them, then they've been supervising them, monitoring them for addressing community violence. After a couple of years, the reach was of about 8,000 people. They've been recording 1,000 of community conflict solved, also with the help of the mediation of these people. And these are conflicts that not very rarely end up in killing. So we cannot count how many violent deaths we have been avoiding, but most likely this collaboration has been saving lives and suffering. I've been talking with the Scouts in Niger, asking them about this experience, and with UNICEF. And what came out is that the Scout person was very happy of the structure that UNICEF gave for helping them making this happen, the rigor. On the UNICEF side, the colleague was extremely excited. She explained me that the Scouts are extremely easy to work with because what you call the community service, we call it civic engagement. This is part of the DNA. So UNICEF doesn't have to do any training, any explanation. The Scouts are able to adjust very easily to get things done, to do that extra mile to make it happen. There are not so many other partners that are able to do that. And finally, the Scouts are able to instill a sense of identity, a sense of belonging to a group, to a team that is unique. When we as UNICEF work with another partner, at the end of the intervention, that is it. That is over. If you work with the Scout will build identity, will build sense of belonging. So the activity, the intervention, will have some sustainability, will have some resilience, in this case, peace, or the peace competencies will have some resilience in a context where a society can be quite litigious. And after the project is over, litigiosity will keep threatening the results that we achieved. The other example I'm going to give you comes from Pakistan, where UNICEF was supporting an emergency response program. The emergency was, to me, believe it or not, heat waves. Pakistan, which doesn't sound like a tropical or a subtropical country, had heat waves a couple of years ago that have been killing 1,200 people. So that was an emergency. UNICEF have been working with the Scouts using a very clever approach, which was both digital and interpersonal, like physical. And again, a youth organization like the Scouts can be very quick on picking up the digital aspect, but also thanks to your routing on the field, the interpersonal also will pick up very quickly. So through the digital, messages were sent to people recorded on this platform, which is called U-Report. The messages were about informing people about the dangers of these heat waves and about solution on how to protect people. And then we're encouraging them to take initiative to help their communities. And then on the other side, the Scouts will mobilize communities, will organize sort of snowball type of approach, first organizing themselves among Scouts, then reaching out to the community, and then reaching out to the media, reaching out to the local administrators to have a snowball effect and reach a number of people, promoting practices to protect the population from the heat wave. These other examples was also quite impressive. In the midst of an emergency, the Scouts have been able to get themselves organized at record time, reaching out a number of different platforms, mobilizing an amazing amount of people, both on the digital sphere and on the interpersonal sphere. So this also was quite impressive and amazing for us. Hence, this is the end of my presentation. I wish that I've been counting. For the moment, we have about 15, 16 countries where there is an active collaboration between our two organizations. UNICEF has 120 offices. Scouts has even more. But I would like this number to grow even more because I think that there is so much we can do for youth development, for community service, for civic engagement of young people, that it will just be a missed opportunity not to take initiative. So please come see me. I can be your antenna. I can help you creating contacts at the different country levels. Thank you very much, and have a good lunch.